Hello everybody, welcome back to Peru State Sports Network, the Bobcat Chat. I am Neiman Sneed here with
Ethan Arnold.
And we want to welcome you guys back to another awesome episode of the Bobcat Chat. That finds us with the Bobcats facing the Culver Stockton Wildcats. And man, kind of a surprising game.
Yeah.
The Bobcats ended up winning by a final score of 47-42. Compared to recent years, this was actually
close game.
Yeah, a very close game, and this is one of those games that you schedule, and you know you have the second and third string guys in there by the second quarter. But from what I kind of gained from the sideline and from some of the players on the team is we might have been looking forward to Benedictine, so it almost came back to kind of to bite us in the rear end. So we're going to fast forward to the fourth quarter action where we found ourselves with a score of 47-35. The Wildcats and the Bobcats both had offensive days out of this world. Defenses were kind of, for the most part, absent with the amount of yards and the points put up in the game. The Wildcats would go 65 yards in 6 plays, resulting in a 16-yard touchdown pass, making the game 47-42. The last 5 minutes was a nail biter. The Bobcats could not move the ball and would end up giving the ball back to Culver Stockton. Both times the Wildcats' drive would stall with an interception by Justin Barnes, allowing the Bobcats to hold on to the 47-42 win. Between both teams, about 1,100 yards were put up on Saturday. Culver Stockton actually had better stats than the Bobcats as they finished with 31 first downs, and it looked like Peru State had 22. The Wildcats finished with 594 total yards, all but 49 yards of this coming through the air, and Peru State was balanced in their efforts with 260 yards on the ground and 239 yards through the air for a total of just under 500 yards and 499 yards. The difference in the game was definitely the turnover margin, as the Bobcats picked off of 5 of the Wildcat passes, and the Wildcats did come in with relatively a younger offense. Their quarterback was a freshman, their running backs were freshmen, and some of their receivers happened to be freshmen as well. So
very young team.
Very young team indeed, and for them to put those kind of yards. I understand that the freshman quarterback actually had 2 school records that he broke, so defensively not a strong showing for the Bobcats, but I know they are looking to bounce back this week against Benedictine College. Ethan, what do you got on Benedictine?
All right, Benedictine. We all know it's a big game, and Benedictine will be visiting the Oak Bowl coming in ranked number 15. Benedictine is going to be tough, ranked 2nd in opponent 4th down conversion, ranked 2nd in rushing defense per game, 2nd in sacks and total sacks, 3rd in total offense scoring, 4th in scoring defense per game and 3rd down conversions, and lastly they rank 5th in scoring offense per game. They have built themselves quite a resume over this past season, right now sitting at 8-2, but they are visiting Peru this Saturday at 1 p.m. playing in the Oak Bowl.
The Bobcats were able to pull it off last year in a close match, so I'm expecting this one, especially with our defense, you know, looking to bounce back and come back even stronger after last week's showing against a not so optimal opponent. They're going to come back and make sure that they fix their mistakes from yesterday or from last week.
And hopefully the whole event of Senior Day will help them with this game as well.
Definitely.
Maybe they'll put a fire underneath the seniors, finish their season strong, and hopefully make it to the playoffs if we win.
Definitely. So with that playoff situation, Baker lost to Missouri Valley last week. So down in the South Division, it's going to be kind of a whole cluster. Looks like Evangel and Baker University are going to be head-and-head for who makes the playoffs. They might even both make it. From our end of the deal, with us losing to Grandview and Benedictine losing to Grandview, it's going to take a win over Benedictine this week and hopefully a loss from Grandview. If we both win, I'm not too sure how it's going to play out, but there's definitely the possibility there's playoffs in the near future for the Peru State Bobcats. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into volleyball. All right, so the Peru State volleyball season just ended as we took a tough loss to Mid-American Nazarene down in Olathe, Kansas. Just little highlights on that. The Pioneers swept the Bobcats 25-19, 25-17, and 25-19 in that third set to move on to face Grandview. See, the Bobcats came out strong as they started the set with a kill from Rachel Knowles off an assist from Brooke Rudabush, giving the Bobcats the 3-0 lead. The first set would be ended as the Cats would pull within 3 to 22-19 on a kill from Brooke Rudabush, who was set by Rachel, but the Pioneers would score 3 straight to take that first set. So heading into second set action, it was all Mid-America for the most part. Peru State would come close, getting within 3 points, 19-16, after Akira Shapiro put down, but Mid-America would outscore the Bobcats 6-1 to finish off that second set. To start off that third set, Yanovich and Rudabush hooked up for a kill to start the third set, while Knowles and Yanovich blocked the Pioneer attack to put the Cats up 2-0 to start the third set. A 4-0 Pioneer run would give Mid-America the lead for good, as Peru State had to try to fight back the rest of the set. A kill by Bowman off an assist from Gross would pull Peru State within 4, 16-12, but that would be as close as the Bobcats would get for that match. Okay. The Pioneers hit 265 in the match while holding the Bobcats to a 135 hitting percentage. The Bobcats blocked great that day. No Bobcat would finish in double figures in kills. Shapiro, Yanovich, and Bowman each had 6 kills, with Yanovich hitting a accurate hitting percentage actually of 357. Gross led the team with 13 assists while Rudabush added 8. And that's basically a wrap. It was the final match for the 6 Bobcat seniors. Those playing for the last time in a Peru State uniform were Brooke Rudabush, Rachel Knowles, Alex Bowman, Alea Roberts, Meg Gross, and Christina Vieira. Ladies, you know, it was a pleasure having you guys along for this trip with the Bobcats, and your time here we do appreciate, and it was fun watching you ladies, and best of luck with the endeavors. We look to have a volleyball recap next week, so guys, make sure you stay tuned for that, and we will have Coach Schrader on the show, as well as 1 or 2 of those seniors as well. With that being said, we are going to head into men and women's basketball. Men's basketball is 2-0 on the season after facing their second straight North Dakota opponent on November 2nd in Mayville State. The Bobcats ended up winning 79-70. Some highlights for that night: we have 4 players in double figures for that game against Mayville State. LJ Westbrook led the team with 17 points, while Hunter and Cass each finished with 14 points, and Moore Jr. added 10 points, with Nolan being 1 point shy of double figures. Noah Vasa finished with a game-high 11 rebounds, while Westbrook added 8 and Hunter finished with 5. The men's basketball team will be playing Dordt College tonight, and Ethan here has a little bit more about Dordt and what we are looking forward to in Dordt College.
Like I said, men are still out and about on the road. They have quite a busy week this week. They will be taking on Dordt College, who are now sitting at 2-2 on the season. After that, they will be taking on Northwestern College on Saturday at 8 p.m., and they are sitting at a record of 2-0, but do play a game Friday night against Waldorf. After that, our men will be taking a visit to the capital city to take on Nebraska Wesleyan for their season opener on Monday at 8 p.m. After Battle in Lincoln, they will be facing Augustana University in an exhibition game, which will be held up north in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Like I said, busy week for the Bobcats.
Busy week for the boys. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and move into the Lady Bobcats. The women's basketball team is now 2-1 on the season after taking their first loss to Mount Marty College this past Tuesday. The Lancers made 29-57 field goals for 50.9%, including 18 from 38 from the 3-point line. That kind of makes sense as to how they kind of drove that score up so high on us. We, as a team, Peru State shot 18 of 47 with a 38.3 percentage and hit 10 of 27 trays for a 37%. There. The Cats made 10 of 12 free throw attempts for an 83.3%. Mount Marty had a huge rebounding edge, edging us 38-21. The Lancers dished out 22 assists compared to the Cats 14. Both teams had 11 turnovers. The Bobcats blocked 1 shot and had 2 steals, while the Lancers had 7 steals. 3 Bobcats finished in double figures, and they were led by Maddie McPhillips, who had 18 points, with Abby Niebrigi adding 12. Brooke contributed 11 points, and Jackie Bogard led the rebounding effort with 7 boards, and Ross grabbing 4. Ethan, what do we got for the girls tonight?
We will actually be having 3 games over this coming week, Neiman, 2 of which will be this weekend at the York Classic, which will obviously be taking place at York College. Game 1 will be against the host, York College, who are sitting at what looks like 1-3. And Game 2 is actually a rematch against Bethany College, who we played earlier in this year, but who are now standing at a 2-3 record.
Nice. Okay.
The last time Peru and Bethany College clashed was at Peru State, when Peru State actually opened its season, and we ended up winning 75-73. The Bobcats are set for a very tough weekend, but we know they will play their hearts out and hopefully come back with a couple W's.
Best of luck to the women's basketball team, and we look forward to getting some dubs this weekend. Go girls! Let's move into a little recap of the cross-country invite. The girls were down in Baldwin City, Kansas for the Heart of America Athletic Conference Invitational. And it was a little muggy and foggy and chilly that morning. It made for some cool pictures and some cool scenery. Got to speak with Alex Kenny and Katie Tennant before the match, and they just had said, they were expecting to do well as a team and individually. Those are 2 of our seniors, and they will not be with us next year, and we will miss them tremendously. But as for kind of just a recap on that, the ladies would go to finish 13 out of 14 of the teams. Although that may not sound too well, I would agree that progress between each individual on that team and the team as a collective.
You can definitely tell that they improved all season long.
And I got to talk with Coach Billings a little after the meet, and she gave us kind of a rundown of all their times and said that from the beginning of the season, everybody's time had went down, and the team collectively ran about a minute faster than that first meet of the season. So progress is being made, and that's a good thing to see with such young girls.
Yeah, a lot of them are coming up, and it's great to see that, especially like freshmen like Anika McDonald and like a few of the others, they're really putting in the time and effort and work, and it's looking to be a hopeful future for the Bobcat cross-country team.
And actually 6 of the 10 girls on the team they beat their PRs.
Yep.
They PR'd for the event. So that's awesome. Next season, Coach Billings kind of told us, they got some great recruits coming in, and she's very hopeful. And next week we are going to have a cross-country recap as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and we'll hear a little bit from some of the runners, from our senior runners, and as well as Coach Billings. So join us then, and we'll talk a little more cross-country for you guys. With that being said,
it's time to wrap it up.
I think that's all we got for you guys today. Football takes on Benedictine College on Saturday.
1 p.m.
1 p.m. in the Oak Bowl. Last game of the season, senior night. Come out, check them out, support. We appreciate it. They appreciate it, and it's gonna be a cold one, but just bring the blankets, and we'll have a good day down in the Oak Bowl.
In addition to that game, we got a lot of men's and women's basketball games coming up, so come out and support.
Until next week, this is Neiman Sneed and Ethan Arnold signing off. Goodbye, everybody.